Alright guys, this is part 2. My camera shut off on me again. My phone's weird. This is part 2. Yeah. I talked for a good, 37 minutes. So I can talk for maybe another 15 minutes, I'm done here. 45 minutes, I'm done. Yeah. 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 So the actors will be blown away by your company, yeah. The Xanus stars will be blown away by my company. Holy shit, man. They fly my private jet. They land in my studio lot. You know what I'm saying? They're like, holy shit, man. I think this company blows out the lot right now. Yeah, they see my nice office, my nice studio lot, and they sign their contracts in the boardroom. I take them out to dinner after they part up me, which is, I don't know, 600, 650 million in our house. If I make 15 billion, right? I make 10, 12, I'll put 500, 550 million in my house. A pimped out house, you know, like Incredibles. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, is it hard writing a screenplay? Well, if you can write your own novel, if you can write your a good fantasy novel, you can write your own screenplay too. But screenplay is a bit more difficult because it's motion picture. Every scene you have to like picture in your mind. Everything that takes place in the movie, you have to picture it all in your mind. Hence, it's a bit more difficult. But if you can write your own amazing novel, you can write your own screenplay. There's not much of a difference, obviously. Samsara. But for the screenplay, it's good to have help with that. That's why you have Peter Jackson, who wrote Lord of the Rings, and Fran, and get them also to help you out with your screenplay, Ivan, for Xanus. I want to be involved in the screenplay. That way, Peter and them don't make drastic changes to my story. I don't want them ruining my story, Samsara. Yeah, or Mel Gibson and Randy Walls. I don't want them making drastic changes to my story. They can ruin my story. Samsara. Yeah. Will your movie have corny dialogue? No. When you guys read my book, there is no corny dialogue in my book, obviously. Some of my writing is a bit raw and stiff, as you guys read. Only a little bit of my book is raw. A good maybe 0.2% of it's raw, and the rest of it's top notch. That's why some fans might say I like Lord of the Rings of World of Time better because, and Game of Thrones better because even though Ivan's book was amazing, it's a bit raw in some sections. A little bit of it is raw. Yeah, even though a little bit of it is raw, I still entertain you more than these other authors did, right? You're just hating on me because you're jealous, man. You know, no author kept you hooked the way I did, but I entertained the shit out of you in your book. So I wrote a masterpiece. As my stepmother told my book's number one. Number one. Yeah, man, it's a masterpiece. Yeah. But if all you fans on Fantasy Reddit, if you didn't like my book, I understand. Watch out for the haters, Ivan. If you like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings better, I understand. Those books are masterpieces, obviously. But be honest, when you read my book and you read these other fantasy books, what story stood out more? What story was more entertaining? What story did you enjoy reading more? I like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones better. Okay, if you like those books better, I understand. But be honest, man, which book is more entertaining? Yeah, Ivan's Last Crusade book is more entertaining. Yeah, it's more entertaining than all those books. As you guys read sections of my book, right? It's a more entertaining read, yeah. It's a masterpiece. My book is a masterpiece, yeah. I'm gonna go upstairs and get a coffee soon, guys. Another coffee. Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. 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 These Ivan, did you really write that book? I'm like, yeah, I did, sweetie. She's like, holy shit, Ivan, that's a masterpiece, man. That's the best fantasy novel I've ever read in my life. I know. It's a masterpiece, Ivan. Ivan, I see your point. You turned this into a movie looking at something better than Lord of the Rings, Ivan, I know. And Harry Potter. Yeah, a better movie trilogy than Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. You get a masterpiece. Well, Lord of the Rings have richer speech in your book. Maybe a little. It's a little bit richer, but even my book has rich speech too, as you guys read, rich dialogue too. I'm good at writing dialogue, as you guys read. My book has rich dialogue too, but it's not. Lord of the Rings is very, very rich, man. The dialogue of Lord of the Rings is so rich, obviously, and you have the language of the elves. So in that sense, Lord of the Rings dialogue is a bit richer than my story, but my story is better. Is a better story, and the characters are better too. I have better characters development as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, the characters are not developed as well. They're a bit dull in Lord of the Rings when you read it. Yeah, was my book. The characters are developed pretty well, especially Takis. They have good development when you read the book. Yeah, especially Takis. Takis has a beautiful character arc. Aratet too. Aratet, I developed it more in Volume 3. In Volume 1 and in Volume 2, he's not developed as well. But in Volume 3, I developed him a bit more. Obviously, Aratet. Samsara? Yeah. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to go upstairs and get more coffee myself. I'll be back in a sec. Skiv, we don't know. We're actually doing the show. guys, I'm back. Well, I'm just to get more coffee. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan, why don't you think, Ivan, you have the keys to the kingdom, why don't you think everyone in the world will buy it? Well, because my book is written in English. The people in Africa and the Middle East and South America, they don't speak English over there. Most people in China don't speak English. It's only the people who speak good enough English are going to buy it. But the people who don't speak English can't understand my book. That's why they're not going to buy it. And that's why I told you it narrows it down to 10, 14, 20 million. But if everyone in the world buys it, I'll make like my 100 billion off the book, something crazy. And if I do make that, I can make Xanus for more money, like $3 billion, $1 billion per volume. The chances are when I make my 10, 15 to 20, I put $2.1 billion towards Xanus. That's $700 million towards each volume. That's fucking unheard of technology for my movie. Something crazy, yeah. Some Sarah. That's why Peter's all happy. He's like, Ivan, you gave me none with a budget. I know, Peter. He's all happy. And he signed his mega 1.4 million deal, Peter. Signed a massive contract, yeah. Mel Gibson signed his like 300 something million deal, a mega deal. But we all happy, Ivan. You gave me unlimited resources. I know, Mel. I gave you unlimited resources. So both directors will be happy whoever I choose. Gave them an unlimited budget, and I paid them a lot of money, the big bucks too, obviously, right now. People will tell me, Ivan, like the technology for your movie blows my Hobbit and Lord of the Rings out of the water. For Lord of the Rings, we just couldn't afford this, Ivan. We were so limited, yeah, because New Line only gave Peter a $90 million budget for Lord of the Rings. And for my movie, I'm making it for $700 million each. $400 million towards visual effects, 100, even 120 million towards the... Now that I'm making it for 700, I can put even a bit more towards the costumes, armor, and the mask. Like 120 million towards the costumes, armor, and the mask for the 3 volumes. And like 45 million towards set building, 55 million towards extras. I gave you out of the budget, yeah. And the leftover money I'm gonna pour towards visual effects. If I have a good 100 million left over in the budget, I can put another 50 million towards visual effects. A good like 15 million bucks. No, like $13 million extra going towards visual effects towards each of the volumes. Yeah. Here's the Ivan, like 30 million towards visual effects for movies already high tech enough. For Lord of the Rings, you only put like 35 million towards visual effects, Ivan. 40 million. 35 million, the war was amazing. And you're putting 400 million towards towards visual effects per volume. I'm like, yeah, he's like, holy shit, you're looking at a battle scene that will blow my Helm's Deep war out of the water. Because in my opinion, the Helm's Deep battle is the best battle in Lord of the Rings. I don't think anything is as good as that, right? Because the Orc High were creepy. You don't like Return of the King? Return of the King wars were good too, but they were more rushed. And the orcs were not that scary. They were like little orcs. Obviously, the armies of Mordor were like little orcs. Whereas the armies of Isengard were big, fierce, strong orcs. That's why I felt for Aragorn them more. And the Helm's Deep War is better than all the Return of the King wars when you watch it right now. Some Sarah. Yeah. And if you give Peter that budget and you pay him all that money, he'll work really hard for you, Ivan, and he'll be happy because he knows he can do whatever he wants to do for the war, for the horror of the wolves and bats and the world building. Peter can afford it for the set building, for the cautions, for the armor, for the weapons, for the masks, the machines for the masks. Peter could afford it all because I gave him all in the budget. He's not limited like he was for Lord of the Rings. You're not going to see Peter saying in my movie, we couldn't afford this, we couldn't afford that. Everything he wants to do for the battle scenes, we can afford it. The extras, we can afford it. So I'm saying, yeah. So I'm saying, we can afford it. Yeah. We can afford it. Yeah, because Ivan, we can afford all everything I want to do for the battle scenes, the amazing battle scenes. I can afford it, Ivan, because you gave me the budget towards visual effects and special effects. Yes. So Peter can direct the best. Because Ivan, you're looking at battle scenes that will blow my Lord of the Rings out of the water, Ivan, because you pour so much money towards. You and your actor is going to be better. This is a revolution of battle scenes, Ivan. Yeah, you're looking at a revolution of battle scenes too. Me and the actors are going to look so badass in the movie because I put so much money towards visual effects. And I trained them well too, right? They got trained well in Vancouver. That's why I'm looking at amazing battle scenes in my movie, amazing war, amazing battle scenes in my movie. An unheard of horror of the demon wolves and bats. Yeah, the devils and demons. Because I gave Peter some in the budget for the movie. Yeah. What movie do you think will be the best? Volume 3 will be the best. Because that's when you have the Exodus like Prince of Egypt, and they're in the caverns like Moria, and you have the demon bats, and you have the big war in the end. But some fans might like Volume 1 the best, they might like Volume 2 the best. I think all 3 movies are going to be amazing. It's going to be a back and forth, but I think Volume 3 will be the best movie. People tell me, yeah, I mean, Volume 3 will probably be your best movie. That's a huge Exodus like Prince of Egypt, yes. And they're in the caverns like Moria, and the demon bats live there. Holy shit, Ivan. They're all scared with torches. You're looking at masters. This is biblical level deep. I know, Peter. This story kind of blows my Lord of the Rings story out of the water. I know, Peter. It's a masterpiece, man. Xanus is a better story than Lord of the Rings. I enjoyed Rick Moore and Jared Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. No, Peter's Lord of the Rings. So I even seriously, man. I enjoyed Rick Moore and Jared Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. No, Peter's Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I'm gonna put the charger because my phone battery is low. Yeah. It's not charging. Why is it not charging? Yeah, my battery's at 9%, guys. That's why I have to charge it. Yeah. 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 So if you're looking at something, yeah, you're looking at a world that'll blow Pandora out of the water. Because even though Pandora was very beautiful, Avatar was full CGI, right? That's why the world looked a bit computer. Whereas my movie is not full CGI. It looks better than Pandora, but it looks a bit more natural, like that Chromecast picture I showed you, and the Guardians of the Tree of Life I showed you, Perry Stone's video. Like you're looking at a beautiful world like that for my movie, something fucking beautiful. When the world sees a trailer, like holy shit, that's beautiful, beautiful world, yeah. And every time them are walking devils and demons. You're looking at a war that'll blow Helm's Deep out of the water. Because they only put maybe 35 million towards special effects for Lord of the Rings. And the war looked amazing. Well, imagine putting $400 million towards all that. You're looking at an amazing battle scene, amazing war. Yeah, man. Xanus will change cinema because it's a revolution of technology. No movie has been made for $700 million before. Obviously. No, Ivan, you have The Hobbit, but The Hobbit, it was made for $700 million for all 3 movies. See, I heard it was 645, I believe. It was made for 645. So 645 divided by 3, they only put $250 million towards each of the movies. Whereas I'm making one movie for $700 million. Here's a guy, Ivan, your budget for volume 1 is a bit more than my entire budget for my whole Hobbit trilogy. Yes. The Hobbit was made for like $200 million each for each of the movies, and the movie was amazing. Well, my Xanus movie will blow the technology of even The Hobbit out of the water. Because it's very clear when you watch The Hobbit and you watch Lord of the Rings, the world building of The Hobbit looks more beautiful than Lord of the Rings because it was made for more money, and technology got better, obviously. The Hobbit clearly has the better technology than Lord of the Rings when you watch it, but Lord of the Rings is still the better movie in my opinion, obviously. As the Hobbit movies were okay, they're pretty good. The first 2 were pretty good. The third one was a crapshoot. It wasn't that good, obviously. Because Peter winged it. That's why you know Peter's a talented director, because he for someone who winged it, he did a good job, right? As the first 2 Hobbit movies were actually pretty good movies. 7.5 out of 10 movies. 7.5 out of 10 movies. They were good movies. But the third one, his winging it caught up to him, Peter. The third one I did not like that much. It wasn't that good, the third one. So I'm sorry. Yeah. That's my point. Yeah. Yeah. So Peter might tell you to go for Russell Crowe. Yeah, he might. Yeah, I was interested in Russell Crowe for Aragorn. In my Lord of the Rings movie I did like 35, 36 years ago, whatever it is. Yeah, you might tell me that, Peter. 30-some years ago, yeah. But Russell Crowe's more expensive. You have to pay him more money. I can easily afford it. He gets his $18 million base and a $9.7 million signing bonus. I can give him $55 million of the film profits. And he gets his $4 million for the game, and he gets like $3.3 million for the merch. That's a good deal for Russell Crowe, and he gets $300K for the promos. So Russell Crowe signed a $90 million deal in Canadian money, which is a $100 million deal in his Australian money. He lives in Australia. Yeah. Please, your company blows out of the water. Russell Crowe signed a $100 million deal. Holy shit, your company blows out of the water. For the reason America's made nothing, Ivan, I know, Peter. Your company blows out of the water, I know, Peter. Yeah, Ivan, you gotta pay Russell Crowe a lot of money. That way he's happy and he works hard for you. He's a big actor. He's gonna help Bill Buzz. Yes, but if his agent gets greedy and want like $100 million of film profits, I'm not paying Russell Crowe that. He's not worth that. You rip me off and you're getting greedy, guys. Sincere? Yeah. Ivan, what about $1 million for the promos? I'm like, no, guys, you're getting greedy. Russell Crowe gets $300K. I'm not paying him $1 million for the promos. I'm already paying him enough for the movie. He doesn't get any more money, man. You guys are getting greedy, sincere? Yeah. And Vigo gets $10 million, $60 million of the film profits. Don Cheadle will match his contract. He gets $10 and $60 million of the film profits. Ivan, what if they're worth a bit more in 10 years? If they're worth like $50 million, I'm not going to increase their salary because Maramis is a pretty major character. He's not as major as some of the other characters, and so I'm not going to pay them more. We're not paying them enough. Vigo gets his 10, he gets $60 million of the film profits. That's good enough for him, and Don Cheadle gets his 10 and $60 million of the film profits. Ivan, what about 30 for Vigo? I'm like, no, he gets $16 million. He's not worth 30. So I'm sorry, yeah. He's not a bigger A-lister. Yeah. You can pay Vigo and Don like $1.2 million for the merch, and they get their like $2.2 million for the game. That's a good deal for $2.2 million salary for the game. That's a good deal for them. They sign like their $30 million deal, which is like a $21 million deal in American money. They live in America. After taxes, they're walking away with like 10.5, 11 million in their bank after taxes. That's a lot of money for them. They're $10+ million richer. It's a lot of money for Vigo and Don, right? Vigo's like, Ivan, sign me up. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don Cheadle's like, sign me up, Ivan. Russell Crowe's like, sign me up whoever I choose, right? You know. Who do you think Pete will tell you to go for? I think he might tell me to go for Vigo because he's biased. But I might tell Peter, yeah, Peter, I know you're biased and you like Vigo when you work with you on Lord of the Rings. Somebody tells me Don Cheadle's the best man for the job, not Vigo, man. Here's an IRS teacher saying, I can picture Maramis as a black guy. Yeah, I pictured Maramis as a black guy. I end up going for Don Cheadle, but I might choose Vigo or Russell Crowe. We'll see what happens. They're going to play the captain of the Archers. Maramis, the captain of the Archers, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, sick movie, yeah. 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 Does it come with perks, Ivan? Yes. Russell Crowe, if he shows and he gets the perks. It comes with perks, guys. Okay, that's a good deal. Yeah, he also gets his speaking fee money if I go world touring, which can range from 600, 800K to $1 million, $1.3 million in speaking. So Russell Crowe's making a lot of money, right? That massive contract, obviously, if he's chosen. Yeah. So Ivan, even the big agencies, yeah, well, Russell Crowe, because he's a bigger agent, Don Cheadle and Russell Crowe and Vigo are probably signed with one of those big agencies in Hollywood because they're smaller AS actors, like William Morris, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like even the big agencies like William Morris, those agents are going to be calling my office too because they know Sky Source is now better than Hollywood. It's a better company than Hollywood. I can pay the actors more than what they're making Hollywood on average. My company's better than Hollywood. Even the big agencies who represent the bigger agencies are calling my office. That's how boss movies are going to be. We're fucking boss men. We own the big Sky Source film studio. We're boss, you know. And all the hot actors are desperate, sending in the reels. Their agents are calling, trying to get their actors work. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. 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 So Don Cheadle's your first choice. Yeah, Don Cheadle's my first choice. My second choice is Vigo, and Russell Crowe's my third choice. But Russell Crowe, I might choose him because he's gonna help build more buzz for the movie. He's a big actor. People tell me, yeah, Russell Crowe's gonna build more buzz for the movie. I mean, he's a big actor. Everyone knows Russell Crowe, but because Vigo did Lord of the Rings, everyone knows Vigo too. And Don Cheadle was in Marvel. Everyone knows Don Cheadle too, obviously. So they're big actors. But Vigo and Don Cheadle are small A-listers. They're not bigger A-listers. They won't build as much buzz, but because they're A-list actors, they're going to build a little bit of buzz too. The small A-listers build a little bit of buzz. The bigger ones build a lot of buzz because they're big actors. Hence why Russell Crowe's very good, because he's going to help build more buzz. Now, oh my God, that's Russell Crowe. He's captain of the Archers, Miramis. But Russell Crowe, because he's big, you have to pay him the big bucks, obviously. But if his agent gets greedy, Ivan, he wants more money, I'm not paying more money. You guys are getting greedy. You agents and managers are greedy pigs. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Because the agents and managers are greedy, Ivan. They want a bigger chunk at the back end. Because they know me, VG's movie are going to do a lot of profit for the Nets. They want a bigger chunk of that. The agents are greedy pigs. Let's be careful for the agents and managers, Ivan. They're greedy. They're greedy animals. See what I'm saying? They're greedy pigs, yeah. Yeah. So if Russell Crowe doesn't get the part, he'll be pissed off. Yeah, he's missing out on a $100 million deal, man. Money he'll never make in Hollywood. That's why he's praying. I fucking hope I get the part. Yeah, I want to be a part of that amazing story, because the whole Once a World reads my book, they're going to be shocked on my masterpiece. And Russell Crowe wants to be a part of that journey with me. I want to fight those devil wolves alongside Ivan, man, and be a part of that amazing story. Yeah. I also want to make that $100 million. He doesn't want to miss out on that $100 million deal. That's why he might be a bit pissed off. He doesn't get a job, obviously. But he just lost out on $100 million, right? The master contract for Russell Crowe. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. Yeah. See what I'm saying? Ivan, what about Timmy Chalamet? Timmy Chalamet is in the same boat as Russell Crowe. Like, he's a better actor than Yvonne Jojen and Dev Patel. He'll build more buzz because he's a smaller A-lister. But like, I think Yvonne Jojen and Dev Patel are better for the part, because I picture Papyri having that Arab, Persian, Jewish, Indian look. Like the look of Jesus' disciple. You know how Jesus' disciple? Yeah. I picture Papyri has that Jesus' disciple look. Hence why I think Yvonne Jojen and Dev Patel are better for the parts than Timothy. But Timothy is a better actor, but he's more expensive. You have to pay more money, because Timothy Chalamet is a small A-lister. Whereas Dev Patel is like a rising star, and Yvonne Jojen is a B-list actor. You see what I'm saying? They're cheaper, those guys. Yvonne Jojen will guy you have movie for $4 million. Whereas Timothy Chalamet, you have to pay him more than that. You have to pay him like his 10.2. His 10 million for the movie. I'll pay him his 10. 10 million. 10.2. And you give him, because by then he'll be worth like his 40 plus million. You give him 16 million of the film profits, 1 million for the merch. He signed like the same deal as Vigo and Don Cheadle, right? His 30 million deal, which is like a 21 million deal in his American money. He's walking away like 11 million in his bank after taxes. You have to pay Timmy Chalamet more money, obviously, for the movie. What about a bonus? I'm like, no, Timothy's not a bigger A-lister. He doesn't get a bonus, man. He gets his 10.2 million base, and he gets 16 million of the film profits. What about 25? I'm like, no, guys. Timothy's not worth that. He gets 16 million. Unless he's bigger by then, If he's worth maybe 50 million by then, 50 million or something like that, then you can pay him a bit more. Pay him, if he's worth 50 million, you can now pay him his 18 million of the film profits. But for his base, I'm not going to go any higher than 10 because you got to watch out for your budget, man. I don't want to overpay these guys. I have to watch my budget. So I'm sorry. But chances are, Timmy Chalamet is worth like 25 million now. Chances are when I do Xanus will be worth maybe his 40. As much as Vigo and Don, so you match his contract. You pay him 10.2, a bit more than Vigo and Don, because Papari contributes more to the role than Maramis. You pay him a bit more at 10.2, but he gets 16 million of the film profits to Chalamet. You can pay him like his 2.2 million for the game, a salary for the game, and he gets $1 million, like 2 for the merch. That's a good deal for Timothy Chalamet. Ivan, what about 2.2 million for the game and like 10 million of the profits of the game? I'm like, you guys are actually pissing me off, man. You're getting greedy, man. I'm not going to give anybody a piece of the game profits, man. Well, I'm ready to give them a piece of the film profits and the merchandise. That's good enough. They're not getting paid more money, man. You guys are getting greedy, man. You agents and managers are fucking greedy. Yeah, you're greedy pigs. Some sound? Yeah. And Timmy Chalamet gets his potential earnings in speaking, which is probably in around the $1 million range in speaking money. I'm probably going to speak at 80 places around the world. If I speak at 80 places around the world, the actors are going to make their like $1 million, $2 in speaking. So Timothy will make his $1 million, $2 in speaking, obviously. You know, if Timothy goes speaking, we want our cut of that. Yeah, you guys get your cut, but the $2,000 gift card you're not touching. Timothy's $2,000 gift card, you're not touching. That's a gift from the company. You're not touching that. Ivan, do we get a $2,000 gift card? I'm like, no, you guys don't get a $2,000 gift card. The agents managers don't get a $2,000 gift card. They don't get that. Yeah. So after me paying you all that money, I also give you a $2,000 gift card, which is fucking nice, man. You can use that money to get you can get some nice stuff with that money, man. You can take your date, your girlfriend out to a nice dinner with that money. You can go to a bar, have a beer with that money. Yeah, that's a $2,000 gift card is nice, man. That's nice, yeah. That's my company will tell the water, yeah. The actors also get their $3,500 gas card. Only the actors get that though. And I'll give the 17 with a $3,500 gas card too. The 17 get a $3,500 gas card first year, and the actors get a $3,500 gas card. As soon as they arrive to my office, I'm going to tell the people, give them the $3,500 gas card, which is like a year's worth of gas. That's a nice fucking, yeah. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. 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 So Peter Jackson has to help me with payroll. Yeah. Peter Jackson has to help me keep track of the budget. And he has to help me with payroll for the cast and the crew. The Hollywood Zane says I signed second year. The Lord of the Rings Hobbit crewman. He has to help me with payroll for some of those guys. The actors will be helping me with payroll for that. And some of the Lord of the Rings crewmen. Like White Workshop and the costume designers and the mask designers. Those guys I'm signing first year. Peter has to help me sign those guys. And second year, he helps me sign the actors and the visual effects team and the cinematographers. But the rest of the crewmen, my presence, will sign those guys. Whoever I choose. Jon Favreau, Peter Rice, Dave Filoni, the Russo brothers, James Gunn, Peter Safran. They're responsible for signing the rest of the crewmen, obviously. Me and Vijay are not going to sign the rest of the crewmen. We got to focus on practicing our lines. But me, Vijay, and Peter, or Mel Gibson, whatever it is, we're going to sign all the stars, obviously. Peter has to help me with payroll for those guys, for the actors. He's my executive producer, right? And Peter, don't pay Yvonne Jojo $800K. Pay him his $4 million. Don't be cheap, Peter. People find $4 million, I'm saying. Okay, Ivan, yeah, man, don't pay me $800K. It's not that great. You'll be pissed off, I'm saying. You know. Yeah. Yeah. So the mask designers, what a workshop, and the costume designers and the extras, you have to split their money. I have to split their money for 3 years. They're $150K for 3 years, obviously. You have to split it. Obviously. And they might be pissed off. Look, man, I can pay you $30K for the second year, which is not bad. In Hollywood, you make that for the whole movie. And then the second year, you get your rich $100K. And third year, you get $20K. That's a good deal. And Peter's like, yeah, Ivan, that's a good deal for them. Ivan, I know you worry. You think they might, even though they're pissed off, Ivan, we can't afford to pay them $200K. You're going to drain the budget, Ivan. They don't make this in Hollywood. Peter's blind by $3. Yeah. Ivan, I know, like, you're scared they might not work hard for us because we're making way more than them. But trust me, Ivan, for Lord of the Rings, they made like 25, 30K. They work hard for me. Don't worry about Ivan. They're going to work hard for us, Ivan. People will tell me that, yeah, he's blind by $3 for the movie. Because some of them might be pissed off at Ivan, like, are we going to get more money? I'm like, no, I can't afford to pay you more money, man. If I pay you, all you guys, $200K, you're going to drain my $400 million budget. I can't afford to pay you that. Ivan, pour money into the movie. I'm like, pour money into the budget. I'm like, no, I'm not putting more money into the budget. I put $400 more money to make sure you guys get paid. If you don't like this, guys, you're more than welcome to work in Holland, do that behind, and make like your $30K. It's a deal. I give you a deal. And you get perks too. All you can eat buffet and everything, yeah. Because Peter will tell me, yeah, even like, if the crewmen get greedy, you gotta be strict and say, no, man, we can't afford to pay them $200K. You're gonna drain your budget. Yeah, Peter will tell me that. Peter's like, Ivan, you can pay them $100K. That's good enough. I'm like, no, Peter, pay them $150K. They have families to feed. We're making way more than all these guys. Make sure the crewmen get paid, Peter. Lord is how the crewmen get paid. Don't be greedy, Peter, I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah. That way they work hard for me and you get a better movie. You pay the crewmen $150K, they're gonna work harder for me. Because they're actually getting a nice paycheck. Whereas in Hollywood they make like $30K, $35K in Hollywood. And they still work hard for the studios, right? They get paid shitty. They make nothing in Hollywood, the crewmen. Yeah, in Hollywood, yeah. Some saying? Yeah. So pretty much tell yeah, I know you worry. You worry because you and VJ and me and like the 7 team and the actors are making way more than them. You're scared the crewmen might not work as hard for you. They might quit and all stuff. Trust me, Ivan, they're not going to quit on you. They don't make this in Hollywood. 150K is a rich contract for them, Ivan. They'll tell me that. Yeah, they don't make this in Hollywood, Ivan. I know, Peter. Yeah, even though we're making way more than them, you made sure they got paid, Ivan. In Hollywood, they don't make this. They still work hard for the studios. They're going to work hard for us, Ivan. Don't worry about it. They end up working really hard for me. And Ivan, you're also spoiling them with all you keep a faint and once on party. They're gonna work hard for you for me, Ivan. Don't worry about it. Trust me, Ivan. They're gonna work hard for me because Peter's buying my seat for the movie. It's actually funny. I said, yeah, he's blind by seat for the movie, Peter. It's actually funny. Yeah. Yeah. Will Peter Jackson be a bit stressed out? Yeah, he will. That's why you have an assistant director, Guillermo del Toro, help take the stress of him. He helps Peter out. Both of them are directing the actors and the extras, and then you have the unit teams that are going to help them out too. And because Peter and Guillermo del Toro took their notes and we wrote the screenplay together, we have the same vision. They're going to direct a masterpiece of a movie, obviously. Peter ends up directing a masterpiece. He's like, Ivan, I can't wait to watch this movie, I know. I can't wait to watch your documentary too, Ivan. You're looking at a beautiful behind the scenes, I know, Peter. Like, the documentary is filming everything, I know. Amazing behind the scenes. But for my documentary, it's not just the making of the film, it's behind the scenes of the making of the film. You're going to actually see me and Peter working on the screenplay. Me signing the actors like Shark Tank. Hollywood doesn't do that, right? They just focus on the making of the film. I'm focusing on the making of the film. I'm also focusing on the behind the scenes of the making of the film. Me doing the concept arts. Hollywood does show the concept arts, obviously. I'm also going to do the behind the scenes of me signing the actors. Obviously, the parties, I'm going to film that too. Me and VJ at our house. The 17 at their house. The actors at their house. The actors' weight training. Me doing my tackle training. The crewmen working in Switzerland. Yeah, it's an amazing documentary, man. Yeah, you guys are gonna binge the shit out of the documentary. Yeah, look at an amazing documentary. Yeah. You also have the game too, right? There's so many things to be excited for. You also have the Sky Source News, all the interviews featured on my Sky Source News, the magazine catalog thing, the commercials playing before the trailers, the George Lucas documentary. A lot of things to be excited for, right? Yeah. Yeah. What do you think would be the most popular? Probably the game. The game might be number one. Or the book, right? Chances are I'm gonna make the most money off the book. Because books, like best-selling novels that sell hundreds of millions of copies, you make more than even movies and games. If it's a really, really big hit bestseller. But I mean, I think the game is most likely number one. Because the gaming industry is even more popular than the film industry. But it's cooler seeing me in a movie than seeing me in a game. But it's fucking cool seeing me in a game too. That's glory too. And you play as me in the game. Yeah, that's fucking cool. Yeah, the character looks like me. You got the cutscenes. Yeah, look at an amazing game. Yeah. 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 That's why Xanus be the best movie trilogy ever made. You'll see what I mean, guys, when you read my book. I wrote a masterpiece, man. A fucking masterpiece. Yeah, man, I wrote an amazing book. Yeah. That's why the gates won't on my brand, but zero, man. The brand's mine, it's not yours. The masters that I wrote, the money's for me and my wife. It's not for you, you guys. You guys have your trillions in your bank. You make your trillions around the world. These billions are for me, BJ. It's not for you. The family's not touching a dime of me, BJ's money, man. This is our money. It's not yours. You guys are just greedy. Yeah. Yeah. So either the Matrix is not happening, no. They're doing Matrix 5. If Matrix 5 gets canceled, then I'm gonna have a talk with you. Would you rather do the Matrix trilogy, or would you rather do The Great Escape with Tom Cruise or Keanu Reeves and their unique? She might tell me, Ivan, let's just do The Great Escape. I want to do that romance story with you. Okay, we'll do The Great Escape with Keanu Reeves or Tom Cruise and Ben Affleck and Scarlett Johansson. Center. Yeah. The greatest 90% chance The Great Escape happens, a 10% chance The Matrix happens with Michael B. Jordan. Some center. And Michael B. Jordan is worth more now. Before, last time I checked, he was worth $10 million. Now he's worth, his net worth skyrocketed. He's worth $40 million. Which means I have to pay him more, obviously, for The Matrix. If I do The Matrix, obviously. If I end up doing The Matrix, Michael B. Jordan, I'll pay him his $10 million for Matrix 4. The first movie in the sequel trilogy, and he gets $16 million in the film profits. Or if he's worth $50 million by then, you can pay him his like 11. You can give him his 18 million of the film profits, 19 million of the film profits for the first movie. It depends how big Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is only getting bigger. By the time you do The Matrix, you might be worth maybe 55 million, so you have to pay him more money. Maybe he is 11, 12.5, and you give him like 20 million of royalties or something like that. But he's worth 40 million now. Yeah, but chances are The Matrix is not happening, man. Sorry, Michael. The Matrix is most likely not happening as they're doing Matrix 5. Unless it gets cancelled. But it's most likely going to be The Great Escape of Keanu Reeves. I'm going to do it right, yeah. Yeah. So, Sarah? Yeah. Will Xanus be better than The Great Escape? Yes, it will. Xanus will be the better movie chosen, the better movie than The Great Escape. But The Great Escape will be entertaining. That's also kind of a masterpiece too, but it's not. There's a lot of movies that were made like The Great Escape, right? Like John Wick is similar to The Great Escape. Keanu Reeves is on the run, right? So there's a lot of movies. The Great Escape will be a fun, entertaining watch like John Wick. Me and BJ kicking ass, running away from a secret or criminal organization, but it will not be as good as Xanus. Xanus is a fucking masterpiece, man. And that's why those Xanusers are fucking lucky. They're gonna be part of that journey with you, man. Fighting all those devils. Experiencing the horror. They're part of that masterpiece of a story. You're looking at an amazing movie. Masterpiece. Yeah. So like for Xanus, you have the wild crows. Yeah, you have wild crows. Remember the scene I showed you? Crows and ravens in the south. This is Aratat's turn. We're in his domain. Those crows were wild crows. But they don't talk. But Aratat's crows, they look a bit different. My idea for the movie is the wild crows are regular size. They're a bit bigger, obviously, than the crows in the real life. But Aratat's crows are a little bit bigger. They look a bit different. They talk. Whereas the wild crows don't talk, obviously. The wild crows are very dangerous. They can kill humans, too. They're cursed wild crows when you read the book, obviously. That's why they're like crows and ravens. They heard the cawing of the crows. Because the south is cursed. It symbolizes the south is cursed, obviously. The cawing of the wild crows, obviously, right? Yeah. Do they always attack humans? No, but sometimes they could attack humans. You'll see what I'm going to read the book. I won't spoil the story for you. Yeah. Well, why didn't the crows attack Cassius and them? Because Cassius and them were armed with weapons. They can easily kill the crows, obviously. They're armed with weapons, obviously. They have protection. Like, they're trained warriors. They can easily kill the wild crows. The wild crows don't attack them, but sometimes, they don't always attack the humans, but sometimes they could. It just depends on how they feel, right? Yeah, when you read the book. But the Valley of the Blood is a dangerous journey. It's a dead wasteland of skeletons, maggots feasting on flesh and everything. It's a dead wasteland. And it's the bridge between the north and the south, which represents the history of violence between both species, the wolves, bats, and many of the wolves and humans. Yeah, and some of the bats too, yeah. Obviously. So it's a huge valley. Yeah, it's a valley that goes on for hours and hours. It's a huge valley to cross. Yeah. I call it the Valley of the Blood or the Blood Valley. Obviously. The Valley of Blood. Yeah. The Blood Valley, yeah. Yeah. So the Southerners can't believe Tactius is the Prince of Xanus. No. They can't believe it. Even though they're a little bit convinced, what if he is the prince? They still can't believe it because it's very rare for a northern to come to the south. Yet alone the Prince of Xanus, they can't believe it. That's why they throw him in a dungeon. Eli doesn't believe it, and Cassius has to try to convince him, obviously. You guys read in that passage. Some Sarah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but why did Tactius have to hide his identity? To keep him safe, man. The Southerners don't like the Northerners, don't forget that. If they find, and hence why Sirius said, your name Tactius cannot be used here, and your sword hide it. They can't know you're the Prince of Xanus, because Sirius knows the Saxons are the ones who forged Tactius' special sword that was made specifically for the Prince of Xanus. That's why you have to hide his sword. And your name Tactius cannot be used here. The Southerners know about your father, Tactius the First. If you say your name's Tactius, they might be curious and think you're a Northern. And the Southerners don't like the Northerns, hence why. And also, Aratat knows that the Prince of Xanus' name is Tactius. You'll see when we read the prologue. You can draw the wolves to Saphius. You have the spies, Aratat spies, hence why your name Tactius not be used. You gotta protect yourself, Tactius. And Tactius is like, okay, and he has to play along. But he hates being the farmer boy, hence why when you read in that scene, he's like, I'm really starting to get annoyed with this whole farmer thing. I'm now sick, I know. Keep it down, remember you're from Cyrus. Yeah, Tactius has to hide his identity, obviously. And because of his identity, they thought he was a farmer boy. Now that farmer boy claims to be the Prince of Xanus, they can't believe it. It's like blasphemy, it's like anathema, blasphemy. Hence why Bell's like, Lit, that's crazy speech. Nowhere is the heir of Xanus wandering these parts. We're in the south. What the fuck is the Prince of Xanus doing here? Why the fuck would he come to this place? Yeah, they can't believe it, man. And that's why you always get that reaction, that cannot be, that cannot be. Because they're shocked. Yeah, why the fuck would the Prince of Xanus come to the south, man? What's he doing here? Yeah. And the thing is, like, I know about what they told me, everything, and I believe them, because Lithia has the faith. Obviously. That's why that scene when Cassie's like, that man you locked in the dungeon is my cousin. My cousin Taki is the royal heir of Xanus. I knew it to be true. My name is Lithia, Silent's daughter. I am now sick, I know. Eli doesn't like Taki, that's why he said Silent's daughter. Yeah, it's actually funny. Alright, that was funny, I know, my book is sick. It's a sick book, man. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, you lying? Is your whole book like that? Yes, guys, I'm not lying to you guys. My whole book is constant entertainment when you read it, man. That's why it's the best fantasy novel ever written. It's constant entertainment. Yeah, man, it's a masterpiece, man. A masterpiece. Yeah. It's a masterpiece, my book. Yeah, man. A masterpiece. Yeah, it's a masterpiece, my book. Yeah, man. A masterpiece. A masterpiece. So Eli is very powerful. Yeah, he sees Tachys and threw him in a dungeon. He's very powerful. But even though Tachys is more powerful than him, he has authority over him. Eli doesn't believe he's a Prince of Xanus. That's why they seize Tachys and they throw him in a dungeon. Yeah, I mean, isn't Tachys powerful? Yeah, but Tachys didn't have his sword. He didn't have his sword. And the blacksmiths there are big, like, buff men. And they seize Tachys and they throw him in a dungeon. Yeah. They seize Papyr, they seize Sirius too. They throw them in a dungeon, obviously, with Tachys. Even though they're guilty too, the main drama is with Tachys because he claims to be the Prince of Xanus. And that's why the main drama is with Tachys, and they seize him and they throw him in a dungeon. Obviously. And Tachys even gives evidence, good evidence, to prove that he's the Prince of Xanus. Even then, Eli doesn't believe him because they can't believe. They think he's an imposter. Yeah, an imposter, a fake. Obviously, they just can't believe it. That's why they seize Tachys and throw him in a dungeon. Obviously, yeah. And that's why Cassius and them were so disgusted with Job. Who the fuck do you guys think you are? You guys are fucking Solomons, and you threw my fucking cousin, who's the Prince of Xanus, in chains, in shackles, and you threw him in a dungeon. You even know who this man is? He's a fucking Prince of Xanus, man. He has authority over you. That's why he was so furious with Job, man, in that scene. That was funny, I know. Let me explain. I'm saying, yeah, they're welfare and drag. There's some features now. What about Tachys? That was sick, I know. They're welfare and drag. There's some features now. What about Tachys? Alright, that was funny, I know. My book is sick. Yeah. So Job was nervous. Yeah, he knew what they were doing there. As you guys read in the beginning of the scene, I shall take care of your horses, and you'll find Tachys in the dungeon. Like, remember he says near the armory turn right. Yeah, I remember in the beginning of that chapter he had that thought. Oh my God, if these two surely are the princes, the princes, Tachys' cousins. Yeah, I'm fucked. Yeah, and that's why when Cassius and Tacitonia show up in the stable, Job knew what they were doing there. That's why he's like, oh, rats. He's like, Southern. I was saying, Job, I take it you had a horse taking care of you. Yes, they're well fine. There's no features that. And what about Tachys? Perhaps he rested well enough in the dungeon, per se. I knew this man Job suffered mental problems. Oh, they make fun of Job. Yeah, that's actually funny. Ah, Northerns are so arrogant. Yeah, it seems like Sellers will take Northerns too kindly. Yeah, because some of the Sapiens were staring at them. Man from the north. You know what I'm saying? Azane here. What is he doing here? You know what I'm saying? It seems like Sellers don't take Northerns too kindly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They always look down. They look down. I'm now saying they look down on Southerns. Yeah. How do I know you're no Southern thief? I said, yes, cousin. I was told not to trust these treasuring thieves in the South. You know, I was saying, yeah, they look down. They make fun of Joe. Look down. It's actually funny. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. That's why Job's like, oh, Northerns are so arrogant. Yeah, because they're arrogant. Yeah, they look down on Southerners. It's actually funny. Um, and that's why my book is a masterpiece. The best movie children ever made. And you're looking at the best fans all written. Anyways, guys, I talked for like an hour and like 40-something minutes. That's good enough. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Stay tuned. I'll make a video tomorrow after my shift at Coco Fruity. Or I might make another video tonight. We'll see what happens. Maybe in the evening around there. This is Adam. I'm signing out. Peace. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Peace out, guys.